And if your house is busy, your kids getting ready for school right now, their timetables might be about to change because the government is announcing today that children will soon be taught how to use and develop artificial intelligence while they're at school.
Meanwhile, ministers are also considering ways to reduce children's screen time by limiting their use of social media to 2 hours per day and nothing after 10 p.m. We're joined now by Minister for Data Protection and Telecoms, Sir Chris Bryant. Morning to you. Let's start with the AI proposals. Sometimes it feels like AI is developing so fast, none of us can keep up. In terms of what we say to our children and what they learn, where do you even start?
Well, I think we start with making sure that we've got the skills in this country that we need for the economy that's coming. So we reckon that jobs in AI and computing in general are going to rise by 7% over the next few years. That's double the rate of growth in other sectors. And that by 2030, so in the next 5 years, we will have 10 million people working in the UK whose jobs have some element of our AI involved in their responsibilities. So we need to make sure everybody's got those skills. So the first part that we're doing, and I'm announcing this morning, £187 million of investment in those skills at every single stage of the ladder. So first of all, obviously dealing with secondary school kids. So 1 million kids across the whole of the UK will be getting additional teaching from next year on AI and computing. Secondly, we're going to invest in 1,000 additional scholarships for people going to university, bright students who are going to be studying in these subjects. We'll also have 500 PhD candidates who will be receiving £10,000 a year to invest in areas where we know that new ideas and innovation could bring significant benefits, in particular to small and medium-sized companies in the UK. And on top of that, then we want to make sure that in every locality in the country that we can drive forward tech as well. But because we know that this is part of the future. You're absolutely right, of course, that there are issues for how we consider kids' use of mobile and in particular social media. And I think people will notice a very significant change in July already because the Online Safety Act comes into force in full then. And that will mean that people will see that age-appropriate apps can only be used by particular kids and so on. But we want to bring forward a much more comprehensive package as well to look at all of these issues in the round to make sure that everybody's online experience is a healthy online experience.
When you say to look at all of these issues, what does that mean? Does that mean there'll be more investigation, another report into it, or does that mean yet more change?
So, as I say, the Online Safety Act, which was actually introduced in the last Parliament and should probably have been introduced much, much earlier, some of its provisions only come into full force this July, and that's great. And I think people will be pleasantly surprised by the change that will bring in itself. But in addition to that, we've already commissioned some work. We commissioned it last November. That is to say, the government in the Department for Science, Innovation and Technology, and we're now considering the work that has already produced, and we hope that we'll be able to look at all the different issues that people have been raising with us about digital age of consent, digital age of data consent, which is two slightly different things. But look, all of us want to say that an online experience should be a healthy one. And one of the things that Peter Kyle, who's the Secretary of State, has been particularly keen to look at is some of the algorithms that seem deliberately to make kids addicted to social media, doom scrolling and the rest of it. And many of these issues have already been raised in the public domain. We want to make sure that we've got a proper package to bring forward together as soon as we can.
So how do you work within the system to actually make children safer and not become less addicted to their phones? Is that what we're calling an app cap? Is that a situation where all social media activity cannot take place after 10 o'clock at night? Like you say, the algorithms mean these devices for adults and children are hugely addictive. What do you even do?
It might well be all of these things. And of course, I know from my own constituency in South Wales, in the Rhondda and Ogmore, that lots of schools have made specific decisions about how mobile phones can and can't be used in school. And so we want to look at all of these issues, as I say, in the round. And it will be a package of measures. I can't be specific about what we're going to say we are definitely going to do now, because we're working on fine-tuning all of that at the moment. But I want to say to the AI companies and all the tech sector, this is London Tech Week, work with us. We are very glad that the Prime Minister is working, is going to be working with NVIDIA today, making some announcements as well. Tech is part of our life now, and we need to make sure that tech was made for humanity, not humanity made for tech. Just one tiny instance. We've got the spending review coming up on Wednesday. I'm really keen that we need to change the whole direction of this country. We can only change the country if we've got a plan for change, and part of that has to be a technological change. Just think about the NHS. We're investing an extra £50 million in the NHS app. That, I hope, will deliver £200 million of savings in the NHS, which can then be invested into proper healthcare. That's the kind of area where I think we can make the state, everything that government does for people, much more efficient and effective. Later on this year, we hope we'll have digital driving licences. Again, all these things making life easier for individuals, saving money in the way we run our public services, and improving the quality of life. It's a whole plan for change.
OK, just to bring you back to online concerns for children, just for a moment, I want to share with you some words that we've had from Andy Burrows, who's from the Molly Russell Foundation. You will know, of course, Molly Russell.
Yeah.
Young girl who took her own life after seeing content that she saw online. He says this: what we need is regulation, making the tech companies focus on safety, the well-being of all users, including children, so that we're seeing healthier design choices. Can you enforce that with tech companies?
We will. That is certainly one of the elements of what we're going to be looking at in our whole package of change that we will want to bring forward as soon as we possibly can. But look, some of these changes are already coming in July as a result of Ofcom's implementation of its new codes, which spring from the Online Safety Act. That's not going to do the whole trick, but it will certainly mean that some of the material that was previously almost designed for kids to see will simply not be seen by them anymore.
Chris Bryant, Minister of State for Data Protection and Telecoms, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.